y'all, and welcome to the Ladywing Designs channel. My name is Zakia, and this is a channel all about crafty endeavors, really. A lot of cross stitch, a ton of knitting now. Knitting has totally made its way back to the forefront of this channel, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, welcome to everyone, anyone that's watching. Whether you're a returning viewer or a new viewer, I hope you're having a good day, a good week, a good month, a good year, all the things. Yeah, I hope y'all are doing well. Today is Wednesday, February the 24th, 2021, and I am ready to chat about what I've been up to these last couple of weeks. So it's still morning. It's about 10:30. Sorry, I'm trying to like upload something on my phone, so I keep checking it. Okay, anyway, I hope that's not accurate. It was almost done, but now it's having trouble again. Anyway, that's not what we're here for today. Yeah, so let's get into some crafts. I have been good these last couple of weeks, just, one day at a time, and it's really not much else to say. I curled my own hair for the first time. My mom sent me like a pack of the rollers that she uses. Sorry, now I'm gonna mess with it because I mentioned it. Yeah, so it was kind of fun once I got past just like the general annoyance at how long these things take, but it's fine. I've got it like pinned on one side now. This one curl is like making it look real great, and like some of the straggler curls over here, it's getting combed out today because this is pretty much the only like legit curl left. So it's good enough for me to record. That's all I cared about. um, and then before I started talking to y'all, you would have seen yesterday, Tuesday, I washed all of my hand knit socks. Oh, not all of them. There's a pair up here that I still need to darn a hole in, and then the finished socks that I'm going to show you because I haven't worn those yet. But basically, well, and the pair on my feet because they'd already been washed. Okay, so mine is 3 pairs of socks. I washed all of my socks yesterday, and I love doing that. So I also would have put in the video, and if you're on Instagram, you already saw this because I put it in my stories. I just saved those videos, but yeah, you would have seen them all laid across the bed. I love doing that. It makes me super happy. Okay, and then there was also a hat because of like COVID and stuff. After I wear my hats, for a decent amount of time, and especially like if I'm wearing them out places, I like to wash them also. So yeah, I thought I was just throwing socks in there, and then when I was laying all the socks out on the bed, I was like, oh, there was a hat in there. So it worked out. It got washed too, which was why it was in that stack, but I didn't realize it was in there when I washed them yesterday. Okay. And then the other thing that I put in was a video that I also put on my stories this morning, like 30 minutes ago when I went to check the mail. It's beautiful here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. If you don't know where I'm at, that's where I'm coming to you from in the U.S. Yeah, it's a really nice day. I was gonna record yesterday, and then I was still trying to get a project finished that I'm gonna show you. And then, yeah, today we're supposed to be like cloudy tomorrow and raining for like God only knows how long. So I was like, yeah, we definitely need to record today because sunlight and it makes a big difference. So, okay, let's get to it, shall we? Okay, I do have a couple admin things that I want to say right here at the beginning. The last WIP update, it was just long, and I forgot half the things I wanted to tell you about my projects, so whatever, that always happens. But one thing that I do want to mention, um, So when I was showing you my spinning wheel that my great friend Florence gave me, I, in the video, completely forgot to actually say the name of the wheel out loud. And then when I was editing, when I got to that part, right, because retail therapy was like all the way at the end. So when I got to that part, it was like 2:30 in the morning, whatever night I was editing, and I was finishing like the last hour. It was like 2:30 in the morning, and I totally typed on screen Ashford Traditional. That is not what we have at all. So I'm sure that some of y'all, if you spin and you were looking up, you're like, if you know what the wheel looks like, you're like, yeah, no, that's not it at all. So I did correct it in the show notes. I got it right. I just, because I was about to type Ashford Traditional, and when I went to grab the link, I was like, you don't have a traditional. So I got them confused because I have an Ashford Traveler. So, Ashford Traveler, that's what I have. Also, I totally forgot to mention like a couple of different groups that I was, and challenges that I was using projects for. So, say la vie, because I'm not going to go back and like tell you, but hopefully I will do better here going forward, because I do want to mention those things, and I just always forget, so I'll try to talk about them when I get to them. Okay, so I think we're ready now. Oh, lies. Okay, one more thing. I have my show notes right here, thank goodness. I would not make it through this without them. So, last admin thing, and apparently my internet just went out. That's fabulous. Oh, I bet you that's why that. No, but I'm on data. Okay, anyway, all the things. So, the last admin, in the last episode, I don't have the socks because they're on the bed drying, but the Felice socks that I made out of this yarn, the winter Felices is what I called them, they were shorties. I had said last time that they were like, one was a little bit shorter, so I was gonna like cut in and like basically just add a couple rows and reknit the toe. So I like lined up the socks next to each other, you know, lined up the heels and everything and stretched the foot out. No, I did not do any of that. They were only shorter by like 1 or 2 rounds, so I just put both of the socks on my feet. And I really like I couldn't tell that much of a difference that it would not have made sense basically to do all that work. And like it would have been a simple process, and I was gonna actually record it for y'all. And that's when I was like, wait, let's actually see like how much shorter these are, and they're not short enough for me to do all that. So I said stay tuned last time. There's a stay tuned. There won't be a clip about that, but I'm sure it'll happen at some point. And maybe, since I mentioned, okay, gross. I really gotta clean this table up, y'all. So, since I mentioned these just now, this is a pair of socks that I made forever ago, probably during the year of socks, which for me was 2018. These are plain vanilla socks out of Kirk Gleason, which, yes, is a Gilmore Girls colorway. This is a very early colorway, a very early, what am I trying to say? This was like back when Legacy Fiber Arts first dyed Kirk. I think that it has changed a little bit now when Sue dyes it up, but this is what it looked like back when they first debuted their Gilmore Girls collection. So yeah, I made these forever ago. I don't remember what the heels and toes are, but they are the same on both socks. I always remember that I used these in the Harry Potter house cup on Ravelry as, it was for some class one month, and we had to relate it to water somehow, and I was like, oh, H2O, because there's two hydrogen molecules and an oxygen molecule, right? You follow me? And then they're all joined by bonds, which is, is that not fabulous? It makes my nerd heart so happy. So I always remember that whenever I look at these socks that I compared them to water. But um, there's a hole on this heel, so I need to go in and fix this. I do have more of this color. I'm pretty sure there's some back there. I mean, worst case, I could also just like um, just put in a different green, like it, or a different color entirely. So I'm not sure yet because I've never darned anything. So I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna do because this is an afterthought heel. So I could just as easily like just literally take out all of the green and then reknit a heel. Um, but I think that I'm going to just use this as an opportunity to learn how to darn over holes in general, but specifically in socks because I have not had to do that yet. This will be the first time. This is the first time that a hole has gotten in my socks. So, and y'all, they've been sitting up here for like months, maybe a year now. Don't make me lie to you. So I really need to, there's like stuff stacked on top of them all the time, but I really need to fix that. So maybe that will be a video at some point and we'll like figure it out together. But okay, anyway, let's get to some crafting, shall we? So first up, finished objects. So last time I filmed, I was working on this hat. This is the Frost and Rhyme hat by Damie Hunter of Magpie Fibers. It's a free pattern that you can find on both Ravelry and her website. So show notes are down below in the description box. I will link to, okay, last week didn't have most of the links because the character count was crazy. But I did make sure that I at least typed everything out for y'all so that you can go search it on your own. But this week I don't have as much stuff, so everything will be linked down below. Every person that I mention, any like tools that I talk about, and all of the patterns and yarn will be linked down below. So check that out. Um, yeah, so Frost and Rhyme hat, Damie Hunter of Magpie Fibers, and I knit this out of Lion Brand Woolies Thick and Quick stripes, the stripes version of Thick and Quick, because Thick and Quick actually has multiple different lines within itself. So this is the stripes one, which I think you can see why it's called that. So yeah, I finished this up. It was knit, I think I knit this on the size needle that they called for in the pattern. We talked about it a lot last week. Look at that bullseye. I'm going to turn it a little bit. I don't know if that helps, but look at this bullseye at the top. It was literally perfect. I don't know if you can tell when I hold it up. I think you can. Like, even down to that very last bit where I wove the end through like all of those last stitches and cinched it up, like even that bit is a totally different color. Like, it was a perfect bullseye. So yeah, I love it. The end is still not woven in, but I've been wearing it anyway. Um, Alabama totally went through a cold snap. We did get a little bit of snow. I think it was last Tuesday, but it was basically BS. I watched it melt within hours, y'all. I was not happy about that. It's fine. I'm not a big fan of the cold. I get super cold really easy, but I was really excited about the possibility of snow. So it's fine. I've been living through my parents. My mom was sending me videos and pictures of stuff. I'm from Tennessee, and my parents are still there. So yeah, it's fine. I lived through them. It was beautiful. I will pop in a picture of what it looked like outside my mom's craft room because one, like her photography skills on this picture were just like perfect. And two, like, oh my gosh, isn't it beautiful? I was sad that I wasn't at home. But yeah, anyway, knit this hat. It's done. Um, it was a perfect length for me. I totally will sometime like when it was cold last week, I will just fold up the brim like this, and like it's not a super long brim. You can see I just did like a couple inches down there and then went into the pattern. but that doesn't mean you can't fold it up. So sometimes I wear it like this and it's a great beanie, or I can just wear it down, which I did, and it's a good slouchy. So highly recommend this pattern. I love the texture on it. It's just simple knits and purls, so nothing nothing difficult at all. And then I put on my Insta if I should add a pom-pom or not. Add a pom-pom, totally won, but I'm just kind of enjoying it, so I have this yarn saved for the pom-pom, but I'm not gonna use it for anything else, probably anyway. So I'm just gonna throw this in my stash, and whenever I get around to wanting to add that pom-pom, I will. It won't be a huge one. As you can see, I only have so much yarn left, but it's also super bulky yarn, so I think that I won't need too much. And at some point, I should weave in this end. Yeah, I didn't even... there's the one from the inside. So, literally have not woven them in, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna wear my hand knits. Also, because of just the way that the pattern works out with the texture, it's totally reversible. So there's that. Where am I? It's always like, where am I putting the thing? Hold, please. I threw it on a chair. It landed on the chair and then slid right off. So I should go save it from the dirt on the floor, right? Yeah. So also, I did get up and do that, but I also just thought about, like, dude, I could just toss them on the floor because I vacuumed yesterday. So it's not entirely disgusting. Anyway, the next FO was a start and finish since my last video. So, this one is totally darker. I love when that happens. So this is, okay, where to go first? This was a test knit for Savannah sorry, I was trying to like remember her first name. So this was a test knit for Savannah of So Livy Dyes Yarn. I will of course link them below and like well, yeah, probably all of the places. But anyway, by which I mean YouTube, their website and Instagram. I'll put them below. But this was Savannah's first pattern, and y'all, it was so great. So this is the Waves of Hope socks, and it's a simple texture pattern. I worked these cuff down, and in the pattern, so Savannah wrote it for an afterthought heel, but I mean, she specifically has, which this is true for most sock patterns. I'm gonna say all, really, sock patterns. If you want to add in a different heel, like, you can do that, you know? Plus, she had also put in there that she put in the pattern that you can use whatever heel you want. And I think also when she was emailing me about the test knit and stuff, at that point she had already had other testers, so it was more, for me it was just more like, hey, you know, does the pattern read correctly, all of that, which I love proofreading in general, so I love test knitting for people and proofreading over their patterns. But I feel like at some point I'm going to be a tech editor. I can just feel it. But anyway, back to the socks. So this is Savannah's first pattern, and like I said, it's simple. Come on, it's simple texture. So this is what it looks like. Waves, right? Waves of Hope. I loved this pattern. I think I knit these socks within 4 days. Like, y'all, I was not planning to knit them that fast, but I seriously just loved this pattern so much. So yeah, well, it's written in the pattern for you to continue all the way around the leg, but I really liked that anyway, so definitely glad that I did it. And then you can see that I added in a heel flapping gusset, And I've actually, so this was the first pair where I tried adding one more repeat to my heel flap. So usually kind of the basic standard is um, take half of your heel stitches. Okay, I'm gonna explain this so weird. Let me try again. So when you make a sock, we're gonna use my stitch count for an example. So I use 60 stitches total on my socks. So half the stitches when you're working the heel would be 30, right? So kind of a general standard that that I learned and have seen is that when you do your heel flap, do half the number of repeats that you have for like the slip stitches. So for me, I have 30 stitches, so that would be 15 repeats, which is what I've always done when I've done heel flap and gusset. But I find over the years, I've really been figuring out like how to add extra room right in here where your foot turns, because yeah, it's just a little wider around, I guess, than everything else. And so um, heel flap and gusset, that's why I really prefer doing them, because it adds the most room for me. That's why I stopped doing German short row heels, because even with the mini heel flap adjustment, and I probably just need to do more repeats of that adjustment, but I haven't experimented with that yet. I just really like heel flap and gusset if I'm doing cuff down. But anyway, all that to say, I added an extra repeat. So I now do 16 instead of 15. And then I also have changed up a little bit how I decrease in here, because at first I was doing something a little different and it didn't really make sense since I need the extra room. Anyway, all that to say, I think I figured it out. I think 16 is the way to go. Plus, like I said, this extra thing in here that I'm doing. So, yeah. I really enjoyed them. Savannah has these up where you can buy them both on Ravelry and on her website. So like I said, I will link them below. I love this. Hand-dyed skeins a lot of the times will, you'll get, like if you're doing like mitts or something where it's like two of them from the same skein a lot of the times, and I think you can see this. Well, maybe it'll end up where like one of them is a little lighter in color and one of them is um, more saturated. That's the word I'm looking for. One is a little less saturated and one is a little more saturated. Just because of the nature of hand dyeing, you know, not everything's going to be identical. And so part of the skein got a little less of the dye and part of the skein got a little more of the dye. And so that's why the colors come out that way. Yeah, I think you can totally see it there. But I still really love these. And like I said, this happens a lot. Like a lot of my socks are kind of like that. But I love it. So, um, I don't think there's anything else I want to say about these. Go scoop you up a copy of this pattern. I seriously enjoyed it. Again, this is just a simple texture pattern, knits and pearls, and it is charted. It's really simple, so highly recommend. Thank you again, Savannah, for letting me test knit. I cannot tell y'all how much I enjoyed this. It calls for a 1x1 rib, so that's what I did. And yeah, standard wedge toe down at the bottom. The yarn is Teeny Button Studio, Brunch at Commander's. This was actually a collaboration that Robin did 2 years ago. No, three. Oh my gosh, y'all, it's 2021. Okay, so this is a collaboration that Robin did 3 years ago. It was in 2018. I don't. She dyed the yarn, and so there's a place in I'm pretty sure it's in New Orleans, because that's where Robin is. They live near New Orleans, like right outside of it. But anyway, I'm pretty sure the restaurant is in New Orleans, and it's called Commander's. Um, just look it up. It'll make sense when you do. I think the outside of it is like this blue color. Anyway, that was the inspiration, and she collaborated with a bag maker, I think, and maybe somebody that did stitch markers. I don't remember now. Like I said, it was 3 years ago. Yeah, but I didn't get it when she did that kit or anything with them. That was the year that, so it was my second internship in Nashville, Tennessee, and there, not including last year, obviously, the year that everything was canceled, but for like the last 10 years, which I maybe last year would have been their 10th year doing SSK. They did it virtually. But anyway, Super Summer Knit Together is hosted by the Knit Girls, which is spelled with 3 L's. If you don't watch their podcast on YouTube, seriously, you're missing out. Go do it. They, one, are so full of knowledge, but two, just, they're fabulous. They're two of my favorite people in the entire world. Um, yeah, I just love them. So go check them out. But yeah, they host Super Summer Knit Together. It's a knitting retreat. I've never been to the retreat, but historically on the Saturday, so it's like from a Wednesday to a Sunday. Um, the retreat usually is a Wednesday to a Sunday, and so on that Saturday, because they invite like a lot of vendors and everything to go to the retreat also and sell their products. So they have an open to the public marketplace that weekend, and I went with a friend that year. It's the only year, oh, excuse me, that I've been. Like I said, I was there the summer before, and I don't know why I didn't think to, because oh, sorry, y'all, I have the hiccups. Okay, hopefully that'll help some. I don't know why I didn't think in 2017, like, this is happening, you should go to the marketplace. I don't know why I didn't, but I didn't. But 2018, I went with a friend who also happened to be in Nashville during that time for like a conference or something. So anyway, we went. I spent way too much money, as you do. And Robin had a couple skeins of this colorway left, and I mean, I thought it was beautiful from the start. So when I saw it, I had to have it. And fun fact, I won't put this picture in because it doesn't matter. Um, but of all the things that I got, like I took a picture of everything that I got at SSK. So I could always like go back and see like everything that I bought that day because it was a really great day. I got to meet. I will link. Now, granted, it does go to Ravelry, so if you can't use Ravelry, I'm sorry. But I will link my project page below on Ravelry because I made a project page for the marketplace. Just specifically so that I could like drop all of my pictures in because I like met a bunch of people that like, oh, it's great. Y'all, if you've ever been to a retreat or heard someone talk about going to a retreat of any kind, of any craft, you'll know. It's special, and yeah. So anyway, that's linked below. I met a bunch of podcasters, a bunch of vendors that I knew of, and yeah, it was great. And anyway, I bought 4 skeins of yarn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the 6th one was something that I bought for somebody else and gave to them. So anyway, this was the last skein of yarn that I still had from SSK. So it's all done, yay! And then I bought 2 things of fiber, and one of them I've barely started. I don't know if I've showed it before. I think I have. Like, it's a rainbow set. Both of them were from Hip Strings. Yeah, so this is like half of the red thing. I just took it off of my Turkish spindle. You can just take the cobs off like this. So anyway, yeah, I haven't really spun basically, because that's all I have of that one set, and then I have another braid of merino silk. But yeah, now I just need to use up my fiber. I've used up the yarn, you know, for a project. I still have scraps. And yeah, so that's that. Why am I always so long-winded on these things? I swear I don't talk much in real life. That's not true. That's not true. Okay, so the only other finished object, hold please, because, you know, beggars can't be choosy, so I gotta use like every single part of the fabric. So I told y'all last week, you can see I've already set up my Q-snap to go back to something else, but I told y'all last week that I was going to stitch up this pattern by the Witchy Stitcher. Okay, we're gonna come back. I don't know. My phone is still trying to upload. Hold on, let me get to... Ugh, gross. Okay. Instagram. Okay, so last week I told y'all that I was going to be stitching this pattern by the Witchy Stitcher. So I'm just gonna guess that it's called You Wish. I couldn't find it on her website last week when I went to link it or try to link it, and I don't know if it's just that I wasn't looking for the right thing. But yeah, I'm not sure if she is still selling this one, but I bought it a few years ago. And yeah, so I showed y'all the original. Obviously, I did a color conversion, 2 color conversions. Um, so anyway, here's the finished project. Product, same thing. Um, so I changed the color of the underwear because y'all know I don't like pink. Um, so okay, I shouldn't say that. It's just not my favorite color. And if I have the opportunity to change something from pink, I'm probably gonna change it. Um, yeah, and then in my cross stitch, usually if there's pink that I want to convert to a different color, it ends up being changed to yellow because that's my favorite color. Because, you know, that's just how it goes. So I changed all of that, and in the pattern, it was charted so that like the outline of the underwear, not the back stitch, but like there's an outline of a darker color. I don't know if you can really see it there. Um, that was like the darkest, and then the underwear main color is the medium, and then these polka dots that you can see was like a bright color on the pink version. So I used the medium as the outline of the underwear. I'll link all the colors down below that I used. And then the lightest one for the main color, and then the darkest one I did the polka dots. Yeah, and then obviously I did a skin conversion. I used, I used kind of 2 different sources, but really the same ultimate source. So if you Google, which I'll link it down below, um, I'll link both of them. So Lord Libidan, he has a blog. I won't lie to you and say that I've read anything besides these 2 conversions, but I have heard other people say great things about the blog or about the website. I think it's a blog. So anyway, the sources that I used over there, I have used both of them for um, my only Mirabilia so far, actually, that hopefully we'll be seeing soon because I really want to finish it. I'm in the mood to finish that now. But Lord Libidan has a skin conversion chart and a hair conversion chart. And like I said, I used both of them on the Mirabilia. And for this one, I basically used that same skin conversion that I had from before. So I looked at what I had used in the Mirabilia, and 2 of the colors are 2 that I used here. And so then, because I knew I needed a 3rd color, in the Mirabilia I only used 2. And on this I needed a 3rd. So I went to that conversion for the skin, and yeah, it turns out he has like my skin conversion pretty much spot on, wouldn't you agree? Like as I'm, you know, holding, I mean, you can see like it's bloody perfect. Like, I love it. Absolutely love it. So, yeah, I finished this up yesterday and I just could not be happier with it, y'all. Um, yeah, so I pretty much changed every color in here except for the black, because I also changed the red of this heart to look better with my skin tone. So, yay! It's all done. I'll hold it a little closer. Super in love with it. And there's the back. Fairly neat, I'd say. I mean, really, you can tell it's just a lot of color blocks, so not too difficult. Okay, and that was it for finished objects. So now that I've rambled so much about things, let's go on to WIPs. So this has basically just been like my sock bag for, I don't know, the last few months, really. When I finish a sock, the next sock just like goes in here. um, yeah, so this is a bag from Manicory Creations. Don't think I need to tell you why I bought it. If you've been here a while, you know, it's all Harry Potter. Which, speaking of, a few minutes ago when I said it's bloody amazing or whatever I said, it totally made me think of Harry Potter. So, yeah. Anyway, so in here is the pair that I had started last time and showed y'all. So this was the first sock. I think I was like somewhere down here when I filmed, and I hope I said last time and not last week because it's been 2 weeks. Anyway, um, yeah, so this is the first sock. These are the Kia socks, K-I-A, which is a free pattern from Don Henderson. From what I can tell, it's only available on Ravelry. And I mean, if y'all do use the links down below, I am always careful to, like, if I do have a Ravelry link, I'm gonna do what I did last week now. I used to write like this link goes to Ravelry, but that just uses a lot of characters. I think we're all on the same page now that some people can't go to Ravelry. So it will be very obviously marked before the link. It'll say Ravelry in brackets in all caps. So you should see it before you click the link, is my point. Yeah, but anyway, so Kia Socks by Don Henderson. I love them. Again, just a simple texture pattern, and you can see I did it on the back of the leg also. Yeah, so they just look like little equal signs. So there's actually 2 spots on this sock that I clearly was not paying attention and did 3 rows. And if, let's go back to, wait, where's the other one? There is a second one. I just can't find it now. Of course. Of course, because I'm looking for it. I'm not gonna find it. Okay, maybe I didn't. Okay, maybe I just imagined that. Maybe I didn't mess it up a second time. Could have. Oh, no, I totally did. Okay, I found it. Which, it doesn't bother me. Like, I didn't even notice this one happened at first. But, so back to about, I like to proofread. So when you're proofreading things and you're like marking on paper, because, you know, there are like you can strike out things like, hey, take this out, or if you have like SP in a circle, it means, hey, this is a spelling error. There's a symbol for new paragraphs. You can tell, like, there are a bunch of different, if you like have old school, like back in English when they taught you I don't know if they still teach kids these things. Probably not, if I know them. Probably not. They're just going to teach you way more difficult ways to do math. Okay. But anyway, I have serious feelings about that because math is and was my favorite subject. And I always like hate when people are like, oh, I hate math because I just struggle and blah, blah. So, you know, the fact that they just make it way harder for kids to understand now is like, why? Anyway, I guess it's not confusing to them because they're growing up learning it that way. It's anyway, getting off of that soapbox. Um, One of the symbols that you can use is 3 underlines under a letter, and it means to capitalize that letter. So I just think it's funny. It's like all equal signs, and then it's like, yeah, capitalize, please. And then the other one, hold on, I just lost it again. And then the other one is up here on the foot. Like, hey, remember to capitalize those letters. So I thought that was funny when I saw it. That's what I'm going to think about now. Excuse me. Usual 2x2 rib, as we talked about, the heel flap and gusset, and a standard wedge toe. So that's the first sock. And as you can see, I have not done much on this. So I did finish the first sock, and here is the second. Barely started. I haven't even finished the first repeat of this pattern. I just did half of the first repeat. So yeah, that's where I'm at. As always, these are on my ChiaoGoo Twist Mini needles. This is a US 0, which is a 2mm. And this is the yarn, which is Trekking XXL in the squash colorway, color 180. So yeah, there's the socks. I haven't touched them actually since like a couple days after I recorded last. So, ow. So not that much progress there. Next, so we're gonna take a cross stitch detour real quick. Oh yeah, I did show this to y'all last time it was in plans. So this is in a Love You More Studio book sleeve, the standard size, some Alice in Wonderland fabric that I got from their Wonderland box, actually. So I worked on, I haven't posted this anywhere. Okay, so let's talk about the challenge that I'm using this for real quick while I pull up this picture. So this is Caterpillar by Little Stitch Girl. I refer to it as Caterpillar and Alice, just so I know exactly what I'm referring to. So I put in 5 days on this for WIPGO 2021, which is a group that is lovingly adminned by Jessie of Jessie Marie Does Stuff. It's a challenge group for all year. It's basically bingo. You make a board, put projects on it. It could be one project with a bunch of different like kind of section goals, or fewer projects with section goals. You can put new starts on it if you want. Some people, I've seen a lot of people doing like Stitcher's Choice, like they'll just pick like a free choice, like well, I don't know if a lot of people have done that, but I feel like I've seen a couple people do that. It's really open to you. Basically, there's a project in every block, and you set a goal for the year, for the month, for whatever. It's totally however you want to set it up, really. And then every month, Jessie calls 2 numbers that correspond to the board, and then yeah, most people use that as like 2 focus projects for the month to try to get their goals done. And oh, I should also mention, so this year, this is what the pattern looks like. It's originally a grayscale, but I changed it to blues because my fabric looks like blonde hair. So I changed it to blues to more accurately represent Alice. So, okay, there we go. I'm trying to get the reflection. So you can see the caterpillar on the mushroom smoking hookah when Alice walked upon him and met him. So yeah, you can see why I say and Alice, because she's right there. Yeah, so that's what it will look like. And I think you can, I don't know if you can kind of see, like, that random dot up there is not in there. And there's a couple more in here. When I uploaded it to Pattern Keeper, they were just, like, I don't know what happened. It was, like, a weird symbol or something. So I just made it, like, a very bright, like, red. Because if you don't know, you can go in and edit, like, what DMC numbers you're using on, I'm using this on Pattern Keeper, which is Android only. Sorry. But yeah, anyway, I changed the colors on there and I just made it a red so I know like this is a weird stitch. Make sure you double check the pattern. Um, anyway, this year, so WIPGO just became a group in 2020, and for 2021, something that we're doing a little different. Jesse, each month, the second weekend of every month is WIPGO weekend, and so the projects that were, sorry if y'all can hear the cars and noise and stuff. Um, so on WIPGO weekend, you take the two projects that were called that month. Like it has to be the numbers that she called that month, not just any project off of your board. And you set a weekend goal for yourself. So it might be the same as your overall goal, if that's possible. Who knows? But yeah, you basically just set a weekend goal over there, and you stitch Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and try to reach that goal for some entries into like a drawing that she's gonna do. And at first, the drawing was for. Okay, sorry, I thought I was gonna burp. Okay, at first the drawing was gonna be just one big one at the end of the year, but there are just so many people participating and doing all the things that she has now changed it to be every month. She'll do a drawing from the WIPGO weekend entries. Anyway, so recap, January, when WIPGO weekend happened, I was totally on a knitting kick. So I didn't reach any of my goals that weekend. And this time, by the time the second weekend came for February, I had already finished Quilting Bee. So yay. And then the other one was Caterpillar and Alice. So ridiculously, I might add, granted, this was the only project that I knew I had to work on. But then guess what happened? I went on another knitting kick with my Waves of Hope socks. So I finished those like early that Sunday morning. And then I was like, so I guess I'm going to be stitching all day on Caterpillar and Alice now, because I had set a weekend goal of 1,000 stitches, which over 3 days, if I had been working on it the way that I thought I was going to, would not have been difficult. Thank goodness that there are only 3 colors in this pattern and that it's kind of like block colors a little bit. And thank goodness for Pattern Keeper and I'm not like searching for symbols now. Um, I got it done. Just barely a few minutes before WIPGO weekend would have ended, I got 1,004 stitches done. Yes. So, and at that point, I think that was like the third day total that I had worked on this. So all of my WIPGO goals, all of my projects on there, I have the goal of working on them 5 days during the month that they're called. If it doesn't happen during that month, it just turns into a yearly goal so that I can eventually mark off that project on my WIPGO board. Well, actually, I don't think we're going to talk about any of the January ones because I still haven't finished any of my January WIPGO projects, like the goal for them. Anyway, all that to say, this is where I'm at. Hold on. I will show you where I was before, actually. Um, hold on. Because, like, okay, I did show it to y'all last time too, but you might not remember. So this, sorry, this is where it was last time. Sorry, I darkened it too much, but you get the point. That's where I was. So this is where I am after 5 days of work. And can I just say, like, getting this out, I really want to pull it out more often now. Yeah, so I think, okay, I'm gonna say this and it probably won't happen, but I'm just gonna say this. It would be super cool if I pulled this out on the 10th of every month to put in some progress on it. You might be saying, why the 10th? Well, um, okay, sorry. My brain is like, tell them the details, but let me finish this thought first. So I'm gonna see if I can maybe work on this on the 10th of every month because and that'll be perfect for March because March 10th is Michelle Bindy's birthday. And like I've always really loved Alice in Wonderland, but like getting back into or getting into the cross stitch community and just crafting communities in general, like it really brought back, especially when I found Michelle Bendy, because she like has a whole Alice wall, like she loves Alice in Wonderland. And so that really, of course, like rejuvenated my love for Alice in Wonderland. And like the Wonderland box, Love You More, like all of this was total Michelle Bendy enabling. So, yay! So, yeah, like I said, this is where I got, speaking of Michelle Bendy, she totally sent me this needle minder, this Alice needle minder. So, you know it had to go on here. And yeah, so let's see if we can make that happen. Even if I only do it for March, since that is her actual birthday, I will be okay with that. But I really would like to finish this year, but we'll see. I'm not sure if that'll happen. Um, yeah, so we'll just see. I would, like I said, I really would like to bring this out more often though, because it was actually really nice to get back to it. There was some miscounting that happened up in here, that I noticed whenever I last stitched on it in 2019, because I did not put a single stitch in this in 2020. But yeah, I like fudged it. It's all fixed. We're all good. So yeah, that's where I got to. Super, super excited. This is 32 count vintage Sahara linen. It's just a Zweigart fabric that I bought off of 123 Stitch. So vintage Sahara, and I think you can kind of tell that there's a little bit of a yellowish tint. Um, I still need to post this project on Instagram, so just look out for that post over there, because you can tell way more in the pictures, like how the fabric kind of looks like blonde hair. I think you can kind of tell here a little bit. So yeah, that's why I went with the blue, because Alice has blonde hair, and yeah, plus the grayscale, I think the white would have looked a little weird on this fabric, so that was the other reason I changed it. Yay. Okay. Long time to talk about Alice, but whatever. Yay. Okay, last WIP is, oh, okay, not, so this is the last WIP that I'm going to show, but I'm also going to mention here the baby blanket that I'm working on for my best friend. I did take that to my boyfriend's apartment like I said I was going to, and it's actually come in handy a couple times now. Um, I have pulled it out when I'm over there and worked on it, so yeah, it's getting some progress slowly but surely. And the last time I worked on it, I was like, dude, you need to look at where you were on the video, which I did, so that I could move my progress marker up. So, yay! Really excited about that one. It might actually, at some point, I'm not sure when, but it might have to come back to my place for a little bit. It will when I go to block it. I'm gonna uh, soak it, basically. I'm gonna wash it. I'm not blocking it really. Like I'm gonna lay it out, stretch it out to the dimensions I want, but it's not really gonna be blocking. Um, yeah, but I'm gonna do that for my best friend before I give it to her. Yeah, so it'll definitely come back over here for that. But whenever I finish the magic knot ball, I have like 25 or 30 grams left in it. So whenever I finish that, if I want it to be a little bit longer, um, it'll come back over here so that I can look through my like minis and scraps and stuff. Okay, so there's that. Like I said, it's at his apartment, so I don't have it here. The last thing is in this beautiful geometric um, project bag. It's a large size. I do remember that. I have no idea where I bought this bag from, and it makes me really sad because I love it. It is a drawstring, so that's always fun. It's also very heavy. I like dropped it on my lap just then, and the needle case and my notions pouch are on the bottom, so that wasn't smart. Okay. Oh yeah, because I'm not attached right now. So I totally tried this on last night. Did I take pictures? No. So sorry about it. But okay, I don't need any of that. So this is Let me turn this brightness back up a little bit. This is the Turtle Dove 2 by Espace Tricot. It's a free pattern. I will, if it's available like on a website or something from them, which it might be, I will link that below. I am still using Ravelry, which, okay, anyway, sorry, just personal things thinking about. Well, okay, they are, I don't know if it's like March 1st. I don't know what date exactly, but Ravelry is getting rid of the classic option. So after last year when they made the theme change and like, you know, all the things happened, people were getting migraines and people were having seizures. Like it was and is really bad still for some people. Um, so that, you know, if you have been kind of paying attention, that's why a lot of us either don't use Ravelry or are like, hey, this link goes to Ravelry, be careful if that affects you. Um, for me, it's a little tough because Ravelry literally is a log of all of my craft stuff. So it would just be really hard to like move that somewhere else. Um, so for me personally, I'm still using Ravelry. I need to, there are apparently like plugins or add-ons or something that you can like download and add to kind of help with the new theme Ravelry. I'm gonna look into that because I didn't know that was a thing until a couple weeks ago. Um, lies, last week. But anyway, yeah. So I just need to like personally do some research and look into that because I honestly don't, like, I get it, they wanted to rebrand, and that's great, but they did not do a good job of redesigning the theme last year, and they handled it horribly, and yeah, so, um, I personally love classic Ravelry. I think they could have kept it at that, and it would have been great. But they didn't, and now they're getting rid of it, which is ridiculous because they still haven't actually solved the new theme for a lot of people. But yeah. Anyway, okay, so that's my Ravelry spiel. Regardless, I will make sure to link somewhere else, which I always do. If I can find a link to whatever I'm looking for somewhere else, if that person has a website or if they're on Lovecrafts or Payhip or something, I'm going to link there. Ravelry will be a last resort, like this is the only place you can find it. So anyway, this is a free pattern, so, and I'm showing you, nope, I'm right. Okay, so, I had not even started this last time I saw you. It was not even on my radar that I was going to be starting this. But it was kind of in the back of my mind that I wanted to use this sweater quantity because I found it. And I don't think I mentioned it last time. I didn't. But yeah, so anyway, it's worsted weight. There are two, that's where I was going, Jesus. There are two versions of this sweater. There's the original Turtle Dove, which is bulky weight, and then there's Turtle Dove 2, which is Aran weight. So the yarn that I'm using is Lion Brand Heartland in the Grand Canyon colorway. I'm not sure it's really showing up correctly. I think you can kind of see that they're like kind of two different colors. So it's totally like a brown, beige, grayish kind of thing. And I love it because it, you know, it kind of fluctuates between looking those two different colors depending on what you would pair it with or anything. So I started this. Okay, let me just back up and tell you a little bit more backstory. It'll make more sense. So, Louise, Wildflower Wool, I mentioned her frequently. Wildflower Wool, and Jocelyn of the Northern Knits podcast, which I've heard tons about over the years, but have not ever watched. So maybe I'll get to that, hopefully, because Jocelyn's fabulous. But So they 2 weeks ago, Thursday, they started. Wait, what date would that have been? Today's Wednesday. The 11th. Duh, it was my dad's birthday. Didn't realize that when it happened. But um, on the 11th, Jocelyn and Louise, and you can go back to Wildflower Wool on YouTube. It'll be linked below. And you can see the two videos that I'm about to mention. So Jocelyn and Louise kind of like challenged themselves, like a friendly kind of Sal challenge thing, Cal knit along challenge thing. To hey, my internet's back. That's nice. To see if they could knit or how far they would get on a bulky weight sweater in 2 weeks. So tomorrow, because today's Wednesday, so tomorrow, the 25th, they will be doing their like final check-in thing and seeing where they got, because it'll be 2 weeks. So anyway, that Thursday, the 11th, they started, and I didn't start anything that night. I was just watching. So last week they did a 1 week check-in, a halfway point check-in, and they were talking about their sweaters. And the first week I was like, this is good. I should like kind of sweater knit along with them, get out the sweaters that I have, and like kind of work on finishing them, right? That's not what happened, clearly. So the next week during the half point check-in, it was like close to midnight. And Thursday is also instant knit night, so it was perfect. It was almost midnight, and I was like, I'm going to do this. So I had already gotten the yarn out. I had figured out the pattern, the turtle dove 2 that I was going to do. Yeah, so I started. And I kind of have this ridiculous goal of seeing if I can finish it um, by the time like midnight comes tomorrow, like when Friday starts technically. We'll see. I think I could actually do it, y'all. But we'll see. Um, so, okay, so last Thursday I started it, right? Close to midnight. Got a good bit. Not a good bit. So I got to maybe like about here on these raglan increases that you can see. I got maybe about here on the whole thing. And I measured my gauge, and I was like 3 stitches more than I needed. So I was like, that's fine. I will just, because I did actually do like an in the round gauge swatch, which I of course ripped out after I usually do. But I did just to see like kind of what I was getting. And so I was like, my gauge, I think at that point my gauge was like spot on, or I don't know what happened. Maybe I measured wrong or something. But yeah, it wasn't right. So at first I started with the smallest size because apparently my gauge was bigger. I don't know how that happened, knowing what I know now. But anyway, I actually ripped all of that out the next day on that Friday and started over. So I went up needle sizes, so that's what I changed. I still started with the smallest size, but it's fine. Like this the neckline, collar, that's what it's called. The whatever. Anyway, this part fits fine. I love it. Even without the like 4 extra stitches it would have had if I cast on that second size, it's fine. So what I did, because I got about the same spot that I was at last time, and I measured my gauge again, the stitches, and I had only lost like 1 stitch. So I was still knitting too tight for the pattern, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do the size that I technically should be making anyway, based on the recommended ease and such. So, because that's why I decided to do the smallest one anyway, because I was like, I don't have to have those extra couple of inches of ease, but I won't have them anyway, so it won't matter. So anyway, during the raglan increases, I think it's actually like right in here maybe. Um, it's right here. I can kind of see it, but just like the way the knitting lays, you can kind of tell right in here. But anyway, I just added 2 extra stitches on each side, because that's where I basically increased my stitch count. so that it would be like I was knitting the second size. I'm not going to go into the details. It's a free pattern, but like it's just not necessary to explain all that. Anyway, this is really what I've been working on, and this is where we're at, besides the You Wish heart, because I did work on that a lot and finish it. So this is where I'm at on my turtle dove. So I mean, basically, like, I started this Friday because I ripped it all out and started again on Friday. Um, so like I said, I have today and tomorrow, and we're gonna see. We're gonna see where I get. I will be starting on the sleeves, on the first sleeve, while I'm editing this video today. So yeah, I thought there are two options for the bottom. You can do this split ribbed hem, as you can see, or you can do like, you just keep knitting and then you just do like a bind off. And if you don't know stockinette knitting, if there's like no ribbing or garter or something at the bottom, it'll just roll back up. And I thought I was going to do that because I totally liked the way that it looked, and I am thinking that I'm going to make another turtle dove at some point. So I might do that for the next one that I make, and just do that simple rolled hem at the bottom. But this one, I just kept looking at the pattern picture, and I kind of liked how uniform, how it really brought everything together with the twisted rib, because like the rest of it is just stockinette. So I liked that it kind of added something to it. Yeah, so I did the twisted rib, and I love this because you're knitting flat, right? Because it's a split hem. I'm one of those weirdos that actually enjoys purling through the back loop. Yeah, I do. I said it. What can I say? I also enjoy Kitchener stitch and lace and like difficult pattern textures. So I'm really not surprised. Um, but yeah, so I loved it. And then I did the 4 inches that they said for the front. And then I've been doing a lot of like glute workouts and leg workouts and stuff lately. And the booty is looking good. That's all, that's all I'll say there. So yeah, when I tried it on last night, I was like, oh, it's because this front is supposed to be knit to 4 inches, and the back hem is supposed to be knit to 5 inches, or recommended to knit to 5 inches. You know, you could do whatever you want. I actually added another inch to the back because I went to try it on, and I was like, you know, like, I pulled it down and everything because the back part was still kind of on a needle, and I was like, they're basically going to be the same length because, you know, it like it comes out up more because like it has something to go around. Kind of the same thing with sweaters, like it might rise up more in the front because if you have, you know, breasts, like it has to go over something, right? It's not just like hanging flat. So I added another inch, all of that to say, so that it would actually look more like a high-low hem. But I love it. There it is. Oh, and it's super comfortable. It's pretty soft already. Um, I cannot wait to be wearing this. I'm really excited about it. There's a gnat flying in here, so that's fun. But yeah, there is that. Like I said, I'm going to start on the sleeves when I finish here, which we are almost done. I'm sorry, not sorry that I'm so long-winded lately. I really miss recording and like talking and telling all the things. I can't wait till I get back on a good schedule with my Craft With Me videos, which hopefully there will be one this upcoming weekend. I'm going to see if I can post it. I'll see if I can do it on Sunday. Kind of like a last February hurrah. Um, yeah, because I love doing Craft With Me's, and I haven't. I did actually record one last week, but it was like, it was rambling, but it was not good rambling, y'all. Like, I didn't, yeah, wasn't feeling it. So, yeah, that one you will never see, but I'll try to get one for y'all this upcoming weekend. So, the only thing left now is plans until I see you next. I don't know if that'll be next week. I will probably do another 2 weeks thing. I'm kind of liking that right now, especially because I've really been, I mean, I think y'all can tell, I've really been more so monogamous. lately, like for me, I've been fairly monogamous, so I'm enjoying that. I'm really enjoying that lately. Okay, so some plans. This is the only stitching plan, so we'll talk about it first. The Made to Create Sal actually will, so part two will actually come out today if you're in the US because we're a few hours behind the UK. So when it actually is released in the UK, it will be the 25th, but it will be the 24th for me, and you better bet your bottom dollar that I will be starting it today. I'm super excited to see what part we get. So this is the Made to Create Sal from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. There's the it's a mystery stitch along. One part is released every month for 6 months. Yeah, and I'll pull up a picture real quick and show you what part one looks like, because I'm not gonna take it out of this bag or anything. So this is what part one looked like. We had the E, and yeah, I'm super excited to see what crafts are in part two. So that'll be happening today. I'm just gonna leave that on the couch, and then everything else is knitting plans. So um, okay, let's talk about these first because they're already WIPs. So back during December, during the end of 2020, if you watched or anything, I don't know that I think I did post this on Insta once or twice. I started the, oh, never mind. Okay, we're fine. I thought I had still had a loose stitch, but it's just ends that need to be woven in. So I had started this is the back. I had started the Weekender by Andrea Mowry, and I haven't actually showed this to y'all in a while. Again, this one has you can see there's a high-low split hem. Not as much of one, but still there. I love it. So this is, again, the Weekender by Andrea Mowry. There is also a second version of this called the Weekender Light. I have to take those to the other side. This is the right side, but pause. There's a fingering weight version of this sweater. The original is worsted weight. She did another one called the Weekender Light, which is fingering weight. Same look and pattern basically, but for fingering weight. Anyway, this was another sweater quantity that was something else. It's 100% acrylic yarn. Am I right about that? Hold on. While I've got this out. Yes, I'm right. Yeah, it's 100% acrylic. It's, oh look, another Lion Brand. I love their acrylic yarns. Like seriously, Lion Brand makes some great yarns, y'all. If you're looking for cheaper yarns, because I mean right now I cannot buy hand-dyed fibers. It's just where I'm at right now in life. But I have no qualms about using acrylic for things. I like acrylic, and store-bought brands are a lot better now than they were years ago. Yeah, so I love it. But anyway, Lion Brand yarns, jeans. I'm not sure if you can get this anywhere else. I went online to see if I could order another sweater quantity of it, and it's not available in my store, which I knew, and it wasn't available for me to buy anywhere online, or from, now that I say that, I'm gonna have to go back and look. I might be able to find it somewhere else. But anyway, this color oh, well, that's upside down. This is the brand new colorway. So anyway, it was a different sweater at one point, which is still in the bag because I haven't ripped that part out. I just started on other skeins. But yeah, I'm loving it. Again, super soft. I'm really excited for this one to be done as well. Anyone else noticing how I'm finishing all these sweaters right as spring is coming in? It's not gonna be, it's fine. The chilly nights, right? That's when I'll wear these. So yeah, anyway, over Christmas so the last time that y'all saw this, I just had to do the 3-needle bind off up here for the shoulders. So that is now done on both sides. The body is complete. This is knit bottom up, by the way. yeah, so that is done. I literally just have to do the sleeves. So so we're in plans, by the way, if I didn't say that. This is going to be one of the things that I tried to finish next, one of the sweaters. I'm really on a sweater kick right now, and I want to get them done because I love them. I could have been wearing them, you know? So yeah, I'm going to finish the turtle dove, and then I will be coming back to this one to put sleeves on it because that's literally all it needs, and then all of the ends woven in, obviously. So you knit this, that's what I was going to say earlier, you knit this on the wrong side because as you can see, this is reverse stockinette on the right side, and a lot of people don't like to purl. So you knit it on the wrong side so that you can just knit round and round and round. And then, yeah, and then you flip it inside out, and it has this beautiful slip stitch texture going down the center of both the front and the back. And the sleeves are stockinette. And yeah, I think that's it, really. There's not much else to really say about this. So yeah, I'm gonna try to finish this up. What was I about to say? Oh yeah, and she changed her podcast name, so this is great to mention. So Tommy, I have previously referred to her as Squirrel Pie Productions, because that was like what she called her knitting podcast. It's not necessarily the name of her YouTube channel. Um, But she has recently, within the last couple of episodes that she's posted, she has renamed the podcast. So it is no longer Squirrel Pie Productions. It is now Moonstone Makes. Um, yeah, just to bring kind of some continuity. If you don't know, she dyes yarn at Moonstone Dye Works. So yeah, Moonstone Makes. It all blends in. I love it. I love it. But also, I would not have stopped watching Tommy regardless. So anyway, I was going to mention that. And then she is currently, I think through the end of April, she is currently running a hashtag FinFixFrog Mal, M-A-L, make along. So that stands for finish, fix, or frog, right? So I have a lot of projects that I really want to be using for that. And I'm going to try to make this one of them that goes in there because I need to finish it. And then there are some other ones that I'm going to mention that I want to. The mittens, the hand spun ones, which I still haven't fixed, those are going to be, I'm going to try to use those for that mal also because I need to fix them. So another sweater that is going to be next on my radar to get done. You'll notice a theme. Most of my sweaters, like I'm not a person that like feels the sleeve island thing. Like I don't get second sock syndrome so far, right? Like I have not experienced second sock syndrome. I have not experienced like the sleeve island thing. I don't think like I mean at some point during socks or doing sleeves, I'm sure I'm like, oh, I can't wait for this to be done, but like not like it's never really like that big of a thing, you know? So a lot that's where I was going. A lot of my sweaters, I just need sleeves. I don't know what's up with that. So you're gonna be seeing a lot of sleeve knitting hopefully because I really want to get these things done. Is this still on in oh it's on waste yarn. Okay, good to know. So this is a birthday cardigan that I started. I can't remember if I think it was 2019. Yeah, it was 2019. So this is just like a little project bag that one of my knitting friends like years ago gave me, and I finally started using them last year as little project bags. I'll show you the yarn. This is Dementor's Kiss from Teeny Button Studio. If you have not checked out Robin's yarn, because this is the second time I'm noticing that I mentioned her this episode, but if you have not checked out her yarn, do it. You will not be disappointed. oh my gosh, it's so great. Yeah, so you can kind of tell that these two are different colors. This one got way darker in the dye pot, but it's fine. I've already worked out how I'm going to handle that. But anyway, um, yeah, this is the yarn that I'm using. It's in the colorway Dementor's Kiss, Harry Potter, all the time, which I must say, I know that Robin is going to be, I don't know if she's already started or if she's finished that process. I have no idea. I used to always say if you love just generally amazing colorways, but especially Harry Potter colorways, because she had a ton of them. She used to do a Harry Potter Mystery Yarn of the Month club, which I don't know if she does those anymore. But she is going to be renaming all of her Harry Potter colorways, which makes me really sad. Just because, like, I get it. But also, like, those were mostly the ones that I was like, someday I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna buy all these colorways, and like if she changes the name, I will have no clue of like what they used to be and the fact that I still wanted them. So they'll just attract me now because it's generally beautiful yarn, which it seriously all is. So definitely check Robin out. She and her mom, Mary, also do a knitting podcast, so I'll link them down below, the Cherry Pearls podcast. Anyway, um, this is the, nope, this is the Delicate. It's a cardigan pattern out of fingering weight. The pattern is by Anna Maria Otvos. I have actually knit, it was really funny when I started this because I did not realize that it was by the same pattern designer, but my first birthday sweater that I did for myself in 2017 was a sweater pattern by Anna Maria Avos, so I think it's kind of perfect. But yeah, so let me come back. This is the sweater so far. So hold on. Oh, sorry, y'all, my arm did something right there. So it's kind of a fade because I started with like the lightest. So I bought 4 skeins of this yarn. When I do fingering weight sweaters, I usually buy 4 skein. It generally takes me 3, but I always like to buy a 4th just in case. Worst case, I'll have it for socks or something else, you know? And I shouldn't say that like I've bought a crap ton of sweater quantities, but I have bought, well, really just 2 now. But anyway, it's good to know. But anyway, I compared all the skeins and I started with the lightest one. I don't know if you'll really be able to tell this on screen because it's kind of see-through. But I started with the lightest one up here and then went to kind of a medium one. And then because that one of those skeins that I showed you is so much darker, I think you can't, I'm going to hold it in front of myself. I think you can kind of tell at the bottom here. Okay, I think you can see kind of the effect. But at the bottom, I did some striping before, like added in that 3rd skein and then did the bottom kind of in that darkest color. And then I'm going to do the same thing when I get to the sleeves. So right now I am using that previous skein, or the not super dark skein. So here's the first sleeve. And this entire pattern is a 3x1 rib. So you can see that there. 3 knits, 1 purl. And the sleeves are the same. And yeah, so I'm going to do the same thing when I get to the end of the sleeves. I'm going to alternate this darker color in and end off the bottom of the cuffs with that so that it'll all kind of look uniform. Yeah, so there is that. It obviously will need a good block because all of this is like folding over. I did love this pattern because you work the like the collared neckband part. On a lot of cardigans you will pick that up at the end and knit that, but this one you knit it as you go, so that part is just, let me hold it in front of myself, that part is just a like 1x1 rib. Yeah, I really enjoyed knitting this though. I absolutely love the pattern, highly recommend it. You can see my pockets are on hold, the pocket stitches, so all I have to do on this one is finish this sleeve, do the second sleeve, and then do the pockets, weave in all the ends, and block it. Seriously, that's like where all of my sweaters are right now. It's like the sleeves and the last little details. So, hopefully we'll be seeing this soon because it's a fingering weight sweater. So since it is about to be warm, it'll be really nice to wear that. Plus, I love a good cardigan. I love hand knit sweaters, but I can totally see myself in the future knitting more cardigans because I just love being able to throw something on and like whatever temp, you can just take it off, put it on, it's whatever. So there's that. So those are the next two sweaters that I'm going to try to get done. And then um, on March the 1st, so the last 3 years, I think, um, either 2 or 3 years, Caroline at Off the Grid Needle Arts has done high tea starts. Seriously, this couch is like so jank, y'all. Look at this. Like, it's broken. Anyway, Caroline at Off the Grid Needle Arts, the last 2 or 3 years, she has done high tea starts, which at first started off being the last Sunday of every month, and you would like go into your stash and pick maybe a pattern or some fabric or floss or something that you've just been saving and it's in your stash and it's kind of special and you want to start it. And so we would do high tea starts. It's evolved over the years. She eventually did quarterly. I don't even think she's doing them this year. Um, but some people have been asking, I think, and she also has, I now of course don't remember what pattern she's going to be starting. Anyway, long story long, she is going to be doing a high tea start next week on Monday on March the 1st. So I originally thought that I was going to do, sorry y'all, like my eyes are, they're probably just super dry, which is a constant thing for me. I don't like eye drops. But anyway, um, so I originally was going to try to do a cross stitch start because I do actually have something that I would really love to start, but I don't have the pattern. I have the fabric and the floss, but not the pattern. And I could buy it. It's not really like a big thing for me right now, so I'm just gonna wait. It'll be fine. I'm sure that I just cut all of that out. Y'all might be able to tell now, like that eye got super irritated and watery and like, oh, that's how I know it's time to stop recording. So, two more cows that I'm going to mention. I forgot to say, kind of because I almost forgot, I am going to use this turtle dove as my entry for the Imagine Knitting Cow with Imagine Landscapes. It's basically, this is like the third year I think they've done it now. It runs from Christmas to the end of March, and the whole thing is that, like, you know, a lot of us, we make a lot of gifts for people, especially around the holiday time. So let's just do something for us. What have we been imaginarily knitting and dream knitting about and really just want to make, and, you know, do it for us. So this is going to be the project that I submit for that, because I almost like did not even let myself cast this on because I was like, you have all these other sweaters, you know, finish them first. And I just said, you know, screw it. I want to make myself a sweater out of this, and I want this, and let's do it. So I'm going to finish it, and then this will be my Imagine Knitting Cow entry, which I'm super excited about because I really wanted to participate in that this year. So now I can. Yeah, so that'll be for that. And then Chelsea Makes, which is a Patreon page that I support. It's the same Chelsea of the Legacy Knits podcast, which Sue, Legacy Fiber Arts, I mentioned them earlier with the socks. It's Chelsea and her mom, Sue, behind both Legacy Fiber Arts and the Legacy Knits podcast. And then Chelsea also does a Patreon page called Chelsea Makes, and I am a supporter of her over there. And she has just started, just this month. It's going to be a year-long cow. I think it doesn't end. Well, yeah, it is. Okay, yeah, it is a year long. She started it earlier in February, um, and it's gonna run through the end of January 2022. It is a festive sweater mal make along, because it doesn't have to be knitting, but yeah. So whatever, like basically, a lot of people always want to make like some type of festive sweater or something for the holidays, and they either don't get done or you never start them or whatever. So it's going to be a year-long mal, and it's just whatever comes across to you as festive. So I had the yarns that I'm about to show you, I had them set aside. Let me look up the pattern that I'm going to be doing. I had these yarns set aside for a different cardigan. I'm still doing a cardigan, but it was a totally different pattern that I still want to make, but I don't think I'm going to do it in this yarn. And the pattern that I was going to do is the Red Vent Cardigan by Amba O'Brien. If you have never looked at Amba's patterns, do it. Yeah, seriously, they're amazing. She has a ton of shawl patterns, and they're all beautiful. Yeah, but anyway, she, like a few other designers, does an advent pattern every year, and 2020's advent pattern was, where is this? 2020's advent pattern was the Red Vent Cardigan, and so I was gonna do that. I thought I really wanted to, but yeah, I have been low on money, as I've previously mentioned, and so I just didn't have the money to buy that pattern, and it's fine. Like, I have plenty of other things that I also want to make. So the pattern that I'm going to be doing, I actually already have in my library. I should have searched that way first, but I didn't. Um, Plus, I also saw the Red Vent Cardigan and then went to my stash and came up with yarn for it. And the yarn does have kind of a Christmassy, wintry vibe to me. So that's how it's going to be festive. But anyway, this pattern, I already have in my library, so I already own it, and it will still work with the yarn that I have. So this is the Nautilus Cardigan, and I'll tell you the designer in just a second. So this is, wait, let me just hold that there a little bit longer. So it's the Nautilus Cardigan. You can see it's designed to be two different colors, and then they kind of stripe there in the center, both on the body and on the sleeves. So this is by Melina Hami. I'm gonna go Hami, but I'm not sure. So there's the thing. The designer's name. That's not the thing. That's what I meant. So, yeah, so that's what I'm going to be making now. And this is the yarn that I'm going to be using. And I should actually have this more down here. So, yay. I'm super in love with this. It's showing up a little bit more blue. Y'all know my camera doesn't really like greens. So it's going to show up more looking like blues, but like this is green. It's a definite green. And like this, it's green. It's showing up more teal, but yeah. So that's what I'm going to use. I'll go through each of these, what they are. Actually, I won't. I will do that whenever I actually start the sweater. So oh, that's gonna bother me. Hold on. I need to put this tag on the other direction. So I will just hold these up so that you can see like the makers, the dyers. So Lolo did it, Vivid Yarn Studio, and Lavender Loon Yarn. So yeah, and this one, as you can see, is sparkly. And then this mini skein came in a stock set, and it just perfectly matches. I also might actually really be needing this because I am just scraping by on, like with these three, I'm just scraping by on the yardage that I'll need. So this little 20-gram skein is about another 100 yards. So it's in here. I will probably be using it at some point. But yeah, I'm super excited. So that's going to be my March 1st start. It'll still be high T. It won't be cross stitch, but I'm still going to count it as high T. Yeah, so there's that. And then it will also get counted, like I said, for the festive sweater mound. Super stoked. Okay. So I think that's everything that I wanted to say about that. I think that's everything I wanted to say in general. I had way less to show and it's still half as long as the last episode. I can't help it. I have a lot to say. And it's better for everybody if I just talk a little slower because I can talk fast and I would probably just stumble over words even more. So, whatever. Okay. Next time. It is either, I might actually do this on the Craft With Me. So, stay tuned for the Craft With Me this weekend. I'm not going to do it now because this is already just so long. I am going to shout out all of the Twitch people that I have been watching. Okay, I won't say all of them because there are some that aren't on this list that I follow, but I don't necessarily like tune into a lot. Which is nothing against them. I just literally y'all are gonna be like, all right, have you replaced FlossTube and YouTube? Yeah, I basically have. Some of my favorite like FlossTubers and knitting podcasters, I have not. I'm still behind, so I'm really enjoying the Twitch streams lately. Okay, anyway, I'm just going to end it here because it is now 12 o'clock and I still need to edit this and get it up on YouTube. I need to eat. I need to get to working on that turtle dove if I'm going to have it done by tomorrow. So, okay, yeah, that's totally it. I hope that y'all have a fantastic day, couple of weeks, well, a few days until I see you if you watch the Craft With Me. A couple of weeks until the next WIP update if you don't. And yeah, thanks for hanging out, y'all. So, okay. It's always weird ending these, but whatever. So, until next time, happy crafting. Bye, y'all.